welcome to the Plaid X2 channel. My name is John. On this channel we talk all things physical media, so movies, music, and books. If you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and subscribe down below for more of that kind of content. So this video is a response video to a video that I was tagged in, a top 10 genre tag from Miranda over at Miranda's Moviez and Grub. So Miranda, I accept this tag, this challenge to share with my YouTube friends, the movie community, my top 10 genre films. So anyway, friends, here we go. So the first category is action, and for me, this is my all-time favorite action movie. I've seen it countless times. Doesn't matter what day it is, I can watch this any day of the week. I absolutely love it, and that is the first John Wick film. I love all three of the John Wick films, chapter 1, 2, and 3, but this by far is my favorite. I enjoy these literally in the order they came out. This is my number 1 favorite. Number 2 comes in at number 2 for me, number 3, but this is my all-time favorite action film. So for action, John Wick. So the next genre is adventure, and this is not even close for me. It's like hands down all-time favorite adventure film. Now some of you might say I'm cheating because you say it's technically 3 films, but it's one film. It's broken into 3 parts, and it is Lord of the Rings. And of course, this is the extended edition. You can't watch it any other way. This is my all-time favorite adventure film. If you want to get real nitpicky and say, no, John, that is 3 films, you got to pick one, then I will pick one. And if I do pick one, it will be The Fellowship of the Ring. This is an amazing film. For me, you're introduced to all the characters, you're introduced to this adventure they're about to take, and you're introduced to the Shire, and I want to live in the Shire. I love the Shire. But, so, Lord of the Rings, for a genre of adventure, it's hands down my all-time favorite film, and I'm going to stand by the 3 of them making it one film. It is Lord of the Rings. So the next category is animation, and again, for me, this is a no-brainer. It's my all-time favorite animated film. I didn't even have to think about it, and it's Inside Out. This film is so smart. It's hilarious. It's heartwarming. It's so good. For me, I watched this film, and it made me think about like how I was raised. It made me think about how I parent, how I'm living my life, regrets, looking back, looking forward. Like I cry in this movie. It's so good. They had psychologists working on this film and the helping of writing it. It is so good. So kids can watch it, but adults can watch it and get so much out of it. So anyway, for me, favorite animated film, not even close, Inside Out. So for the next genre, it is comedy. And for me, this was a little tougher because there are 2 comedies that are my all-time favorite comedies, and I could watch them at any time. One of those is Tommy Boy, which I did not pick for this video. I picked my other favorite, and it is Dumb and Dumber. This film is amazing. I've got a video that I'm working on right now called Film Stories, and I'm going to talk more about this film because this one actually means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, and to have it in my collection is really important. I do have the standard DVD version because the Blu-ray version is the unrated cut, and I don't like it. I think it ruins it. That stuff that they added in, I want just the theatrical release. So I'm sticking with my DVD until one day they release just the normal theatrical release. That's all I want. But anyway, this film means a lot to me. I think it's super funny. I can quote pretty much all of it. And so anyway, when it comes to comedy, it's Dumb and Dumber. So the next genre is comic book, and this one wasn't hard for me. The one I kind of wanted to pick was Thor Ragnarok because when it comes to the MCU, that's my all-time favorite film is Thor Ragnarok. But this comic book film, it trumps anything the MCU put out for me personally. There is no comic book movie that touches this one. This one's just so good, and it is The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's performance in this, it ruined every single comic book movie that I'll ever see ever again because I think he is so good in this film. So the first Batman Begins, I saw that film and I thought, man, Batman couldn't get better than Batman Begins. And then this came out. And then the next Batman film came out after that. And the first and the third, I couldn't get into. Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins, I just couldn't get into them because this ruined it all for me because Heath's performance was so good. So for me, this is a no-brainer. All-time favorite comic book film is The Dark Knight. I actually saw this one in IMAX 3 times. I like this so much. And I've never gone to a movie more than once in theater, and this one in IMAX 3 times. So anyway, for comic book films, it's The Dark Knight. So the next genre is drama, and this one actually was a little difficult because I have a bunch of films in my collection that I really, really love, that mean a lot to me, that are like mean a lot to me emotionally, mean a lot to me, like just the story when it comes to my life. But this film is an all-time favorite for me. When you ask about what's my favorite franchise in all the film collections out there, it is this film franchise. And so my favorite drama film is Rocky. It's really difficult for me to choose which one because I love the whole thing, Rocky 1 through 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed 1 and 2. But if I have to pick one, yeah, I'll go back to the beginning with the very first Rocky back in the 1970s, 1976, I believe. And it's my all-time favorite film series, franchise. That film, it just launched this whole series in through the Creed films. And it just means a ton to me. All of the films except for Rocky 5. All of the other films mean a lot to me, and I love them. I'm emotionally invested in them. So for favorite drama, it's Rocky. So the next genre is horror, and if you have been watching this channel for any length of time, you know you never see horror on this channel. I'm not really into it. I'm too soft. I can't handle it. I can't handle horror. So anyway, I do have some horror films in my collection, but they are all old films, old black and white films. So I go all the way back to Universal Monsters. So my all-time favorite horror film, also my favorite work of fiction is Frankenstein. And this is one of, I only have a few steelbooks in my collection, and this is one of them, and it's absolutely gorgeous. There we go. We go in the back, Frankenstein. Absolutely love this film. I love the book that it is based on. So for me in horror films, I have a few. They're all old, all black and white, but my all-time favorite has got to be Frankenstein. So the next genre is romance. I don't have a ton of romance films or even romantic comedies, but I have a few, and this one is by far my all-time favorite, and it is an old one. It's from 1931, and it's actually a silent film, and it is City Lights, Charlie Chaplin. This is such a beautiful film. If you're not touched by this film emotionally watching it, I'm not sure if you have a soul. It is so, so, so good. If you've never seen this one, I highly recommend it. If you are brand new to black and white films, silent films, this is a great place to start. It's really, really good. The film is only 86 minutes in length, so it's not that long, not a huge investment, but the story is beautiful. There is a ton of comedy in this, and just it's really heartwarming and touching. Chaplin always, I'm gonna do a full video, maybe a series of video on Chaplin films, but Chaplin was a master at doing comedy and romance and drama and weaving them together, and also just having really deep meaning behind it all. So anyway, for romance films, it is City Lights. If you've never seen it, do check it out. All right, we got two more genres left. This next one is sci-fi. I used to be huge into sci-fi. I used to watch it all the time growing up in middle school and high school as a little kid. But the older I get, the less I'm into sci-fi. But this one actually means a lot to me, and not because I grew up with this one. It's a newer film, newish film, but it reminds me of a TV show I used to watch with my dad, and that is this, if you want to call it, reboot of Star Trek. This is an excellent film. It's really, really funny. The action is great. The soundtrack is great. Everything about this film is so good. I think they got it right in every single way in this film. And my dad and I, when I was growing up as a kid, we'd watch the original Star Trek series on reruns, and we would spend hours watching those together. So for me to see this film when it came out, it just made me think of my dad. And so for all-time favorite sci-fi films right now, it's got to be this one for all the nostalgia and just great memories. And it's just an outstanding film. So for sci-fi, it is Star Trek. So before I tell you the next, which is the last genre, let me know in the comments below what you think of my picks. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, what ones you might recommend, maybe some films that you would suggest I check out that maybe will change what my all-time favorite films are in these genres. But please do let me know what you think about these picks. And here is my final pick. So the final genre is Westerns. And when I saw that genre, I thought, for sure I'm going to take a James Stewart film, an older film, maybe Clint Eastwood film, but I didn't pick any one of those. It's a newer film. It's a remake of an older film, but I chose for my favorite Western because I love this film, The Magnificent Seven with Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. This film, for me, from beginning to end, it is so entertaining. It never loses my attention at any point in the film. I laugh a lot lot. The action is great. The storyline is great. They get you emotionally in it. It's just an outstanding film. And so I couldn't recommend this one highly enough. The Magnificent Seven definitely comes in as my all-time favorite Western. All right, so those are my picks in this top 10 genre tag. Miranda, thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this. I actually had a ton of fun. As soon as I saw that I was tagged in your video, I instantly started making notes about what my favorite films are in those genres. So this was a ton of fun. Thank you so much. Friends, if you are not following Miranda on Instagram or subscribe to her channel, I'm gonna put her information in the description box below. She has awesome, awesome content. I'm a huge fan of her videos. She's doing movie hauls all the time and just picking up some really, really great stuff. So please do check out her channel and Instagram account as well. Awesome YouTuber, cool participant in this movie collecting community. Anyway, so Miranda, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Friends, if you like this video, please do hit like. If you want to subscribe to more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe as well. I do hope you're doing well and staying safe, and we're going to see you next time.